thinking about what publication can't do for you, which is a great topic that you hit off with. Yeah, I don't know. This whole relationship between writers and publishers, I think, is really interesting. Publishers look for writers who went somewhere interesting on the page. I really feel empowered. And my mind and my voice is skipping all over. And, this used to be my full-time job, listening to my voice and letting it skip over, letting it go crazy, letting it go from here to here to here to here to here. The question is always, who is this message to? And I like to think that I write and I think in a voice that could be for many people. And I have to have the integrity and the belief in the universality of my inner voice to just keep making it into a form and to keep putting that form in a block and moving it forward. And these days that looks like content. I've never been one for form. And when I say form, I mean really tightening one either short story or poem, essay, anything traditional. I don't do it. I think my ignorance, and I have many ignorances, and I think they're actually the most important thing to me, as far as economics, physics, computer science, anatomy, romance. It's actually my blind spots and my lack of education that sort of give the things I do have to say and do know or think I know. It gives it that sparkle. It's the imperfections and the cracks in me, the miseducation that's actually most important. Because then I'm sort of conviction run amok. I think I'm where conviction meets curiosity, and where conviction and this desire for order and knowledge meets unknowability. I think that's what mixes in me when I let loose. And, I'm experimenting with forms, and experimenting with presentation. Getting discovered is hard, and not getting discovered is hard. Kind of like wrapping this present over and over and over again and not having it opened. Failing to create the desire in someone else to open it. So you almost, what other people want is always a very strange beast. But you just have to listen, right? You have to listen to what they say. And I don't know, I do that. I've sort of been taking a vacation from that. I feel like the last 4 or 5 days, I haven't been reading much online stuff. I haven't felt like working. I haven't felt like working my normal work day. But some things have gotten knocked loose. I've actually been working with individuals more. I've been more in direct messages than in public social media, which I think has been very healthy. I feel like I've actually lived much of my perceptual, analytical life of the mind in the last several years, kind of watching performances, kind of watching the performance of many people on social media in public, and my eye's been trained for that, and it's like I've been something of a theater critic in that sense. So I don't know. It's nice to and it's refreshing and kind of calming to go straight one-on-one, not interpreting any kind of performance, even though it is all a performance. But when I'm the only audience, it's nice. But yeah, been editing, been rereading my old writing, and seeing it with new critical eyes, and being hard on it. I mean, I know that just because I thought it and wrote it doesn't mean it should be kept. Yeah, I like being the editor and the reviser of my own stuff, and no one else will love it like I will. And I think this is the thing about writing is there's almost it's categorically the least important thing to somebody else. Your writing, categorically unimportant to them and their life and what they need, and maybe even what their pleasure involves. All right, you have to be so good. You have to be demanding. You have to be not demanding. And it's very hard to be not demanding in your creative work, because it's not all the way good yet, right? It's not. You haven't hammered out your universal yet. You're on the way. You're on the way to speaking in the universal voice. And really what you need is someone to tell you that the effort is real. You need someone to attend to your efforts to discover the universal within you. And it's a long road, right? I mean, I'm watching myself speak on the video camera right now, and it's like I've watched myself speak on camera for a long time. I've made so much video content, audio content of just my mind going overboard. And I can't stop talking. I can't stop talking to paper and to digital content. Someone has to be on screen, all right? You watch TV or movies, and it's like, well, some people can be the ones who are on screen, whereas others are too self-conscious, right? I've crossed a line where I don't mind being self-conscious, and it doesn't scare me, because I don't think I'm not worth being seen. I don't think I'm not worth being seen. Anybody can put themselves on camera. But having the belief that you're worth looking at, that's probably the thing that's hardest to get to. And I think you only get there by just doing a lot of work. And then by doing a lot of work, and it's as simple as, what else are you going to do? Are you going to go consume? Are you going to go tune in to someone else's thing and watch them on screen? Or are you going to watch yourself on screen and be like, what do I have to say? Right? I think we all have that choice when we go watch TV or even read a book. Certainly go on Instagram or Facebook. But, most people have, families and pets. And I am working on getting there. I mean, it happens in due time. I don't think you can get married too late. No, I mean, I love that I have no plans in the evenings, on the weekends. Playing piano, singing, reading, writing, going for walks, going on adventures, making new foods. Simple, and phone calls, correspondence, I mean, I love reading social media. I love watching younger people try to see what they have to say. And yeah, there's so much oppression and so much systemic injustice that there's always so much to watch and to worry about and to think about and to talk about. But yeah, it's nice to take a break. I've been, it's late May 2020 now. I feel like I've been going pretty hard since like last August, and it hasn't really slowed down. I usually plan on fall being a very busy time, because it's cold, it's dark, and I feel like mulch is the word where and I always envision like wet leaves kind of like compressing. I feel like that's what happens in the fall. And I think fall for me started early last year, and it went up until maybe even like a week ago. It's been a very busy time, and I've been totally consumed in the computer and singing and just taking care of myself. So yeah, I've been getting some good ideas and some good feedback from people about what to do next. What to do with my skills, experience, knowledge, interests, network. Make some sort of offering, name it, put a price tag on it, and follow through on it. As far as, I think what I do is I help people find their voice. I understand half my job is the making and practicing of my voice. The speaking voice, the writing voice, the content of the flow, the leaps and bounds when you start going in poetry, jumping from one form and idea to the next and just kind of following the path with the words. But I'm not really thrilled by publication. I think I'm a lot more interested in helping others do what I do, because I know how important it can be and how much salvation and transcendence there is there, and how I think it just prepares you to live in a heart-first way, which kind of flies in the face of like work-life balance, which is horseshit and is going away. So yeah, we got to learn how to be human. Everyone has to dig down deep into what they have to offer the world, and that's your voice. That's what you are. So yeah, I think that's what I would like to do more of, is help people find their voice, and be a place where they can come practice it, right? In my Twitter DMs, Instagram DMs, all, texts, whatever, it's like, it's a jam space. It's to discover what you might have to say. So I need to learn how to frame that in terms of how it lives in the world. And this is the same old thing that I've needed to do, that I've failed to do. Let's see how bright that is. I've needed to do it, and I've not done it. So I don't know. Is there a rush? I mean, I'm kind of trying to do it more every day, but it's a process. It's a slow opening up of this flower, and I don't know. You learn how to invite people into something. And it's like, even today, like listening to what I'm saying right here, it's like you learn that you've changed. I've changed. I've grown. It's different. The voice here is different. But it feels so good to sort of have the correspondence of the inner and the outer. It's like I can tell it's happening in my periphery, and I can feel it inside of me, and then I can also see it manifesting in time here. And it's just so natural. And I think this is that kind of like transparency that I always want to get back to, is like being a clean plane of glass between the inner and the outer, and really just like being very tuned in to the resonance between your heart and your head, coming through your body, and you're sort of standing in a moment, and you're interfacing with the sun and the moon and the stars and the trees and the birds and the dirt, and you're rooted, right? My feet are rooted on the ground and this earth that has nurtured me, and where all humans have come from for thousands and thousands of years. And it's serious business to be a poet and a storyteller and a listener and a cultural ambassador and a critic and an analyst. You're the keeper of what we are when you write, and when you acknowledge that your internal voice is the universal voice. Always more to say on that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm at GP Lewis on Twitter.